Kyiv burns under Russia's largest assault yet. 805 drones, 13 missiles, and shattering strikes on government buildings. Mothers and infants killed. Ukraine hits back, torching pipelines and refineries deep in Russia. With NATO on edge and civilian horrors mounting, this is a war crossing new frontiers: military, political, and global. September 7th marked a turning point in Russia's war against Ukraine. In the early hours of Sunday morning, Russia launched its largest aerial bombardment since the conflict began, sending 805 drones and 13 missiles across Ukrainian territory. For the first time in this war, flames engulfed Ukraine's seat of power. The attack shattered previous records and crossed new red lines. Ukraine's Air Force reported that 751 drones were intercepted, but the remaining aircraft found their targets with devastating precision. In Kyiv's historic Pechersky district, the Cabinet of Ministers building caught fire as debris struck the upper floors.
Last night, Russia carried out another massive strike on Ukraine. Kyiv, Kryvyi Rih, Dnipro, Kremenchuk, and Odesa came under fire. For the first time, the government building was damaged in an enemy attack, the roof and upper floors. Rescuers are extinguishing the fire. I thank them for their work. We will restore the building, but the lives lost cannot be returned. The enemy terrorizes and kills our people across the country every day.
The human cost was immediate and heartbreaking. In the Svyatoshin district, a 9-story apartment building suffered catastrophic damage between the 4th and 8th floors. A 32-year-old mother and her 2-month-old son were killed when the blast wave threw them from their 6th floor home.
There was a young woman living on the 6th floor who had recently given birth. She was thrown out into the street by the blast wave. She was found under the slab of the building at 5 a.m. The child was also found dead.
As dawn broke over the Ukrainian capital, Mayor Vitaly Klitschko surveyed the destruction across multiple districts.
Yet another attack. The 2 city districts of Darnitsky and Svyatoshinsky have suffered the most. We are now in the Svyatoshinsky district, where a Shahed Garan drone hit a residential building.
This escalation comes as Ukrainian military intelligence reveals the true scale of Russia's commitment. Nearly 700,000 Russian service members are now deployed in Ukraine, according to spokesperson Andrei Yusov, who told Navalny.live that
the majority is deployed in Donetsk Oblast, which shows Russia's priorities.
While Russia bombarded Ukrainian cities, Ukraine's forces struck deep into Russian territory, targeting the economic arteries that fuel Moscow's war machine. Ukrainian drones hit the Druzhba oil pipeline in Russia's Bryansk region, causing what drone commander Robert Brovdy described as comprehensive fire damage. The Druzhba pipeline carries Russian oil to Hungary and Slovakia, 2 European Union members that continue purchasing Russian energy despite widespread sanctions. These strikes represent Ukraine's strategic response to Russia's civilian targeting. Simultaneously, Ukrainian drones reportedly struck the Ilsky oil refinery in Krasnodar Krai, one of southern Russia's largest facilities, producing over 6 million tons of fuel annually. Located roughly 500 kilometers from Ukrainian-controlled territory, the facility erupted in flames around 2:15 a.m., according to Russian telegram channels. But Ukraine's long-range capabilities raised new concerns when drones hit the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant's training center. The Russian-installed administration reported that the strike occurred just 300 meters from a reactor unit, though radiation levels remained normal.
This center is unique. It houses the world's only full-scale simulator of a reactor hall, which is critically important for staff training.
The escalating attacks prompted Poland to scramble fighter jets as Russian missiles approached its border.
Polish and Allied aircraft are operating in our airspace, while ground-based air defense and radar reconnaissance systems have been brought to the highest state of readiness.
Amid the military escalation, contradictory signals emerged from potential peace negotiations. Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico claimed that Vladimir Putin expressed interest in meeting Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky anywhere else but Moscow during their September 2nd encounter in China. However, Putin seemingly contradicted this just one day later, again inviting Zelensky to Moscow.
If Zelensky is ready, let him come to Moscow.
Tensions between Ukraine and its allies also surfaced when Fico criticized Ukraine's strikes on Russian energy infrastructure. During their meeting, Fico accused Zelensky of harming Slovak national interests.
We did not understand each other at all on the subject of attacks on oil infrastructure on the territory of the Russian Federation. Zelensky has repeatedly said that if Russia is attacking energy infrastructure in Ukraine, then he has the right to attack energy infrastructure in Russia, and I am responding to that. But it's hurting us. Can't protect your own national interests by harming others. It just can't.
Fico went further, arguing that future security arrangements must include Russia.
I am delighted that safeguards are being negotiated. Let us just remember that we need to negotiate security guarantees for Ukraine, but we also need to negotiate security guarantees for Russia. That should be one package.
Despite diplomatic tensions, Ukraine is accelerating its path toward military self-reliance. President Zelensky announced that Ukrainian-made weapons now comprise nearly 60% of his military's arsenal, surpassing his July target of 50%.
During this war, Ukraine has reached the point where nearly 60% of the weapons we have, the weapons in the hands of our soldiers, are Ukrainian-made.
This achievement comes alongside groundbreaking international partnerships. For the first time in history, Ukraine and Denmark are establishing a joint weapons facility on Danish soil.
We are also creating new joint weapons production. For the first time in history, Ukraine has begun building a joint plant with Denmark on Danish territory, and it will produce components for our missiles and drones, weapons that are already proving highly effective.
Ukraine is also expanding participation in NATO's prioritized Ukraine requirements list program, which has already channeled over $2 billion in American weapons purchases.
This is a program we truly need. Thanks to it, we purchase American weapons, and it already involves over $2 billion. We will continue increasing this funding.
As international support crystallizes, 26 countries have committed to providing security guarantees for Ukraine, with substantial commitments spanning land, air, sea, and cyberspace operations. The coalition of the willing now includes 35 nations, marking unprecedented unity in supporting Ukraine's defense against Russian aggression.